everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So I just finished watching Nate the lawyer's video about Samantha Markle versus Meghan Markle lawsuit, defamation lawsuit. Highly recommend it. He goes through the highlights of the case and explains things. I'm so thankful for him to explain this because even if I read it, I would probably I wouldn't understand it the way he does. So basically, to sum it up, the judge dismissed the Finding Freedom defamation, claiming that because Omid Scobie is a third party and that Meghan didn't publish it, but Omid did, that basically Samantha can't sue Meghan for that. That she basically, insinuating that she would have to sue Omid Scobie, which is huge because there's so much defamation in Finding Freedom. And then, so that one's with prejudice, so Samantha can't come back from that and pursue that any further. The next two claims, though, were Samantha can still pursue, and I believe the next two are the no, the next there's one that she can pursue. I think the next one was Meghan saying that she was an only child on Oprah. That one was dismissed. But the third one, where Meghan on Oprah lied and said that Samantha changed her name only after she married Harry, and for some reason, Samantha's lawyer didn't provide proof that she changed her name long before Meghan married Harry. So that's pending for Samantha to come back and prove there. The last thing was that Meghan wanted Samantha to pay her legal fees, and the judge told her she would have to prove that Samantha was that the lawsuit was without merit, which couldn't be proven here because there are things that Samantha could still pursue. And there's a second thing. Well, anyways, Meghan could still try to pursue getting her legal fees paid. So, but going back to Finding Freedom, they used an example of a case where a man was the police were chasing, and the man got out of the car and ran. The police found his driver's license in the car, then put out an APB for him, and the man ended up on Florida's most wanted list. And this criminal came back and sued the police for defamation for putting him on the most wanted list. He's claiming he's innocent and that he should have been put on there. And the judge decided, well, the police didn't publish the most wanted list. The police just put out an APB, and someone else took it and put it on the most wanted list. And because a third party published it, the criminal couldn't sue the police for defamation. He'd have to sue whoever published the most wanted list. Well, she used that same argument with Meghan and Omid, saying, well, Meghan told Omid, but Omid's the one that published it, not Meghan. But I don't know. Nate the lawyer said he would pursue this as it was published when the information was given to Omid, because Omid's a third party, so that could be considered publishing it. But I would also argue, as I'm sure many of you would, that Omid Scobie is Meghan's mouthpiece, and that's, it's just as good as coming from Meghan, right? And they work very closely together and very secretively. And then that made me aware of the deviousness. Now, we all know over the years, Omid Scobie has pretended like, oh, I'm just a royal reporter. We all know, I think he's the ex-boyfriend of Marcus Anderson, who's another sneaky friend of Meghan that's always hanging around. We see pictures of him around. But she's never come out and spoken about him, as far as I know, not publicly, like on mainstream media or anything. And there's always been this same kind of obfuscation of the relationship between Meghan and Omid. So Omid pretends like, I'm just a royal reporter, and oh, it just so happens that Meghan really likes me and invites me and tells me everything. And even in this article in Tatler, when he came out with that hideous book that Meghan wrote, it starts off by saying, there's no denying Omid Scobie is close, very close, to the Duchess of Sussex. Take Meghan's last solo appearance as a working royal on the day she finally flew out of England Scooby-Dooby-Doo, who is co-author of the Finding Freebies, was one of only 3 journalists invited to the engagement. Now, also keep in mind, he's not a official royal reporter, and they're supposed to be on a royal rota. So the fact that Meghan was inviting him and using him as a mouthpiece was against the rules, right? As a royal, they're not supposed to do that. They have an agreement that Meghan broke there. But Scooby-Dooby-Doo has this very close relationship, and look what a piece of work he looks like there. But we all know he's Meghan's mouthpiece, and they've been very hiding that purposefully, pretending like they're not working together. And we all know they're working together. So much so, I firmly believe, and I wish uh, Samantha's lawyers should go to Twitter and get the data to prove, because I believe Meghan gets on Omid Scobie's Twitter account and tweets out on it. And it would be interesting to know if that's going on, because we know they're all over Twitter, even though they don't have an official account. Yet Harry's calling Jack Dorsey to tell him to take down tweets, right? So that would be very interesting to know, because I think that the fact that the judge dismissed the Finding Freedom, which is full of defamation. I mean, he wrote she Meghan and Omid wrote a chapter calling a problem like Samantha, right, or something of that nature. It's like really insulting, very defamatory. The entire book, so much in there. And for the judge to dismiss that with prejudice, that Samantha can't come back from that, is very damaging and wrong, in my opinion, because Scobie is not just some random third party, like in the example of the police report with the most wanted. I mean, Scobie is tied to the hip with Meghan. They're a team. He shadows her. He's the way Meghan speaks out secretively. He's Meghan's mouthpiece. Everybody knows it. But in a court of law, you got to prove it. So if there's somehow they could prove that, I think that should be somehow try to appeal that, because I think that Finding Freedom is huge. The amount of defamation in that, and making Samantha look horrible and attacking her over the years and being insulting towards her. She's an ill woman. She's got MS. To be attacked in the mainstream media around the world like this by this piece of work right here, who's obviously uh, has all this access that the only way he has it is by secretively working with Meghan and Marcus Anderson. So that needs to be unveiled. I think that the first dismissal is I wish there was, I don't know how they prove that in a court of law, but that really needs to be exposed, because Omid Scobie is not some third party. He's Meghan's lapdog. He's Meghan's secretary. That's all he is. Meghan tells him what to write and he does it. That's all he is. So I don't know how you'd prove that, but I wish they would, because otherwise, you see that the cleverness of Meghan and Omid being all sneaky about their relationship, because now if Samantha sues Omid Scobie and says for defamation, Omid Scobie will come back and say, because originally, all right, in this article, Omid claims in this article that he got no help from Meghan and Harry. Okay, this is written in this article, so already that's a lie, because we know from the court records when Meghan was in court with Jason Knauf, she had to admit, oh yeah, I wrote that and I sent it to Omid. So we know that Omid's already caught in a lie here, one lie of many, I'm sure. So what am I getting at here? I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so Omid obviously wrote this, and I forget what I was gonna say. Well, anyways, they're just gonna prove that they're working together, because we know they are. We know they're working together, and so that one needs to come back. I would appeal that somehow, and somehow maybe with Twitter records or something, show that Omid and Meghan. Oh, okay, I know what I was gonna say. I was saying how sneaky it is of Meghan and Omid with this evil, sneaky relationship, because now if Samantha sues Omid directly, Omid will say, "Well, I thought it was true. You can't sue me for defamation, because to be defamatory, you have to show malice, right, and saying it to hurt you." And what he said about Samantha was very hurtful and harmful to her reputation. But he's going to say, "Well, I thought it was true." Uh, Maybe then he will have to because the evidence has already been proven in court that Meghan did provide the information, so perhaps Meghan could get drawn into that lawsuit. So that might be a workaround for Samantha. And I hope she does continue pursuing that, because for them to publish this book that was a huge seller, as Omid loves to brag endlessly, uh, um, that was hugely defamatory, and Samantha should be very well paid for that. Yeah, so I hope she does. Even though this was dismissed with prejudice by this judge, I hope this Samantha doesn't drop that. I hope they appeal that, and she should. But anyways, whether or not she does, she's still it's not over yet, because it looks like Meghan may try to pursue Samantha, because Samantha is not obliged at this point to pay any legal fees to Meghan, but will Meghan pursue that further? The judge told Meghan, no, you got to prove that the case is meritless and uh, whatever to and Nate the lawyer explains it. So you can watch him. He explains it much better than I ever could. So anyways, I wanted to ask a few questions about this, just throw a few cards. I mean, this whole thing is so sinister and shady, and yeah, Nate's a really fun guy. Like, he goes through it and he agrees with the judge. Um on most of it. I mean, he does agree with the reasoning. I want to look at this judge, though. I mean, it does sound reasonable, but like I said, the way she dismissed the first part with prejudice, that is, Sam can't come back again. I mean, there's got to be a way to prove that Omid is not just some random third-party publishing. He is Meghan's mouthpiece, and it really that needs to show that it's actually, if Omid's saying it, it was directly from Meghan. They have court documents to prove Meghan admitted that she lied in court. She lied in court and tried to deny it when it came out. That I just remembered. Yeah, I did speak to Omen and give him the information. You know what I mean? She's such a liar, a habitual liar, and yeah, she better not get anything from Samantha. That's all I gotta say. I mean, she's such a criminal. But anyways, let's look at this judge. She did give a reasonable. Now we're concerned about this judge in the beginning because she is an Obama judge, and Samantha did try to dismiss this judge to replace the judge, which isn't uncommon. People do that. They don't feel this judge is fair, but she wasn't able to do it. So Samantha tried to change judges. She wasn't able to do that. So already, Samantha probably was on poor footing with this judge to begin with, because she tried to change the judge and she couldn't. So that wasn't a good start. I mean, I don't know if the judge took that personally or not, but let's see. Did the judge take it personally? Was she offended that Samantha tried to swap her out with another judge because she was an Obama appointee? And we all know how Meghan and Obamas are tight with each other. They're all politically connected. And even Lady C confirms that she has sources saying, Hierophant reversed. Oh, excuse me, Emperor reversed. Ooh, corruption, corrupt judicial state here. Oh, by the way, I'm using the Jack-o'-lantern tarot for the horror show. This is for Meghan and her. Oh, and Ten of Cups. I think that the judge. Yeah, I don't think she was too bothered by it, but I think she felt that the royal family supporting Samantha and influencing her. I do think the judge was not happy about it, but she wasn't. She just felt it was done wrong, and the case was. I don't think Samantha really got and did her lawyers did everything they could have done. And this is what the judge was thinking, and I do think the judge is corrupt, was somewhat corrupt. I mean, I think everybody working in government and judicial systems they have a leaning or bias to one, if you want to look at it as corruption or biasness, or a little bit. But I do think otherwise. I mean, her rendering sounded fair, but I don't know, the whole thing about completely dismissing finding freedom. That I don't know, but like I said, they don't prove that Omid. I mean, she did have a good case there. She made a good point there that it was Meghan didn't publish it herself, but she did provide the information, which she admitted already. So I don't know if they can somehow swing that around into this case, but I guess she'll have to sue Omid. Let's see. Well, Samantha has to sue Omid Scobie now if she can, because she really that there's so much defamation in that book. I mean, if somebody wrote a book about me that was so well publicized all over, I mean, that's a slam dunk to me with the defamation. Will Samantha pursue? Oh yeah, yeah. I think Samantha's ready to pursue Omid and look at her options there because they shouldn't get away with this at all. See the death cloud, the skull up there. Yeah, Samantha's working hard on this and she's not going to give up. And she has, she does have good help here. She does have good support and expert opinions. I think she's not surprised. But defamation lawsuits are difficult to prove. But I mean, a book like Finding Freedom, writing a chapter about you, saying a problem like Samantha. I mean, come on now. And another thing I think the judge did. I don't know. She kept in mind entirely is the fact that Meghan is speaking on Oprah, which was such a hugely promoted interview all around the world at the time. They were a huge story. Just the implications of saying what she said, even if looking at the transcript doesn't sound so bad. I mean, it was. I mean, Megan's tone was really nasty, and even in one part of the transcript, when Nate was reading it, there's one part where Megan says, "Right," that annoying way she was like, "Right, right." I wanted this right. It was so offensive. But it's like Megan's very clever to phrase things in such a way that if you look at the transcript, it doesn't look so bad. But her intonations and the messages and the angry looks, yeah, it was quite clear that she was using her acting skills, because in acting you learn to convey things without words, right? Because Megan's definitely not a wordsmith. She has to plagiarize everything, but she knows how to act, and so that's why she likes speaking in interviews because she can convey messages without saying them. That helps with the legal matters, right? So I got her so far off the hook, but again, this case is not over because the Samantha can still come back about the Meghan accusing her of. I mean, Meghan outright accused Samantha of changing her name back to Markle after she married Harry, which is ridiculous. There was no reason for her to make that kind of accusation if it's not true, and I don't think it is. And because if you think about it, Samantha was a Markle before Meghan was even born. So for her to turn around and say, "Oh, how dare she change her name back to Markle? She is just trying to, make money off of me, right?" I mean, it's so ridiculous. It's her name. I mean, so Meghan is really nasty. She gets saying all these nasty things. You can tell it's very nasty between them, right? This is a very nasty. I mean, this lawsuit. I mean, lawsuits are never nice, but this one between Meghan and Samantha is just. I mean, you're talking siblings here. It's family, right? It's intense, the amount of emotions and ferocity, and I think Samantha's gonna still keep pursuing it if she can, right? She's gonna have to get the support to do so, and her health. Um, So I hope she does. I think she will come back. Well, let's see. Is Samantha? Let me see. If we ask about the judge first, how did the judge feel about Samantha? I mean, maybe the judge had sympathy for Samantha though, for being in a wheelchair and being ill and everything, being treated this way on an Oprah interview. I think the judge, was very, it seemed very fair and objective. She didn't seem her rendering didn't seem entirely in Meghan's favor there at all. She didn't give Meghan any money. She's like, "No, Meghan, if you want the money, you got to prove this and that, and you can't prove it yet." So you know. So let me see here. Okay, I just went back and got the part in the video where Nate the lawyer discusses it. This is the section of the legal documents where the judge decided Meghan didn't get any money. And she said it would be premature to grant defendant Meghan the request at this place in the litigation. Um, The court does not agree that Meghan is entitled to an award of fees and costs at this juncture because the court has not addressed the merits of the plaintiff's claims, nor has the court made the finding of the plaintiff's lawsuit as a whole is without merit. So yeah, so she's not getting any money, and Meghan's, would have a tough time trying to prove. Meghan would have to prove that Samantha's claims are all meritless, which obviously they aren't. Yeah, so yeah, not gonna. But Meghan is vindictive and very uh nasty, and because this is family and her and Samantha no doubt have a lot of anger towards each other, maybe she would pursue it, even though it's very difficult. It costs a lot of money and a lot of lawyers. Harry and Meghan are. Oh, and by the way, at my last video I confused Harry's lawsuits because he's got 3 lawsuits going on, right? So Harry was in court last week for the he's suing regarding phone tapping from 30 years ago. But I confused that one with his other lawsuit against the media that he wanted dismissed without even having a trial. Just dismiss it and give it to me. And that was when he accused them of lying about him, I believe, about the Met Police. And then a third lawsuit is he's suing the Met Police, right? So he's got like three going on right now. So, I mean, it's really hard to keep up with all this. I don't have a legal background here, but I try to keep on it because this is vexatious litigation. This is lawfare. This is what Harry and Meghan are doing. It's part of their um, agenda with the New World Order. And the irony of all this is that Meghan, in her case with Samantha, Meghan claimed, well, Samantha's trying to stop my freedom of speech, First Amendment freedom of speech. That was her defense against Samantha. That same First Amendment that Prince Harry is going around saying, oh, it's so bonkers, right? I mean, I just want to strangle these two. Anyways, it's one thing after they're doing one thing after another to irritate us. I swear. Anyhow, as Harry's suing the media to try to shut them up and put them out of business. Remember, they put that Splash News out of business in California, right? They sued them for taking a picture of their precious Archie, right? Oh my goodness, they're such animals. They don't care whose lives they destroy. So they get people fired from their jobs if they don't like what they say, like they did to Piers Morgan. Anyhow, anyways, back to this. Um, so how did the judge feel about Samantha personally? We know Samantha's going to pursue this, but how did the judge feel about Samantha in general? I mean, what was her impression of Samantha versus Meghan? I mean, it could be that the judge didn't really like Meghan. Who wouldn't blame her? Nobody likes Meghan. Temperance reversed. So I think that she felt that Samantha was being too emotional and um, swayed too much by this. There's too much emotion going on here. And, again, the two sisters here in court, family going on. And she could see that Samantha also wasn't healthy and the temper's reversed. She's not in good health right now. She's not doing well. So I think she was, concerned about that, for that. But I think that she felt that Samantha's was presentation with the lawsuit not, I find it very disappointing if what Nate says is true, that that they're saying that Meghan lied and said that she didn't change her name, or she changed her name after she started dating Harry. Well, why didn't they prove that? Like, they give it to the judge and they don't prove that she changed her name earlier. I mean, how difficult is it to get that piece of paper that says, yeah, I changed my name back to Markle, 10 years ago? So it seems very sloppy work. That's why I'm getting temperance reversed. Like, that's very sloppy with the lawyer and Samantha there. Like, they didn't prepare properly, and they're just going on emotion too much. You know what I mean? That's just part of the problem. If you're angry, you can't think, right? You have to sort of dissociate yourself a bit from it, like not in a mentally ill way, but you have to be objective about it. And that can be difficult when you're, in this kind of intensely emotional lawsuit with your sister, right? So how did the judge feel about Meghan? Now, I mean, a lot of, Meghan has lost a lot of support over the years. Oh, Three of Swords reversed. Yeah, she thinks Meghan's a liar for sure. She's like, Meghan's a nasty liar. Nasty woman, nasty, vicious, lying woman. Yeah. Dangerous woman here. She sees Meghan as dangerous, and it's Two of Swords, excuse me, Two of Swords reversed. But well, she thinks Meghan is a liar and, completely manipulative with her wording and what she says, and nasty, like using it because you could see, even though the judge used her legal mind to come to the decision, she could see what was going on here and what Meghan was doing and how she was doing it. They deal the judge. I'm sure anyone that judicial system deals with criminals, and their tactics, and and lawyers can be very criminal sometimes. Not Nate though. Nate's a good guy. I really like him. He's a good person. You can tell. So, anyways, from what I can see, right? From what I can see, but he's very, very nice at explaining all this and doing it such a good way. He's a very nice guy. Anyways, but yeah, the judge didn't really like. He felt Samantha and her team weren't well prepared. They were a little too emotional, and that's why they weren't prepared properly. And Meghan, he could see, was a manipulative liar. She could see was a manipulative liar. So the judge wasn't really too keen on either of them. Like, I don't think the judge was like ready to inviting either of them to her barbecue next. Neither of them are invited to the judge's barbecue next or whatever, picnic, whatever you want to say. Like, she's never going to invite them over for dinner and put it that way. I don't think the judge would spend time with either of them in personal life. Like, she didn't really like either of them, is what I get. Like, she wasn't impressed by either of them. Okay. So there was no strong favoritism here, is what I'm getting at. Like, if I'd seen like Meghan getting, a very favorable card and Samantha a very negative one, then I'd say that possibly the judge was, on the same political side as Meghan and supporting her wholeheartedly no matter what. But I don't see that happening here. So I do think that she was being pretty fair about it, even though I feel like perhaps the judge doesn't understand the relationship between Meghan and Omid the way we do, and proving that. How do you prove that relationship, that symbiotic relationship that Meghan and Omid have, because they're so secretive about it and denying it all the time, like it doesn't exist when all the evidence is there. I mean, Meghan invites 3 reporters for her last royal meeting, and Omid's one of them. But they barely know each other. Omid's a real professional there, don't you know, right? You can tell he's not. He's not. He's the only, not an official royal reporter at all. He's a joke. He's a scam. He's a grifter, just like Meghan. He's just a bad copy of a grifter. He's a grifter of a grifter. I mean, he's as low as you can go, right? Parasite of a parasite, a criminal parasite of a parasite, and gross. They both together. They both use the same plastic surgeon. That's probably how they met. Anyways, no, okay, they probably met through Marcus Anderson. We know. Anyhow, a lot more to uncover there with Meghan and Marcus Anderson to be revealed, right? He's always slithering around in the background. You see him in pictures, but you never hear too much, even though he's always around and he's still around. But yeah, someone's gonna buy all those drugs that Harry likes to take, right? Um, how does Meghan feel about not getting the attorney's fees? She actually wanted to get attorney's fees. She insults her sister in Finding Freedom, that we all know she wrote. She insults her sister on Oprah. She just thinks she can get away with everything. What a manipulative, cunning one. And she keeps going after her sister. Why? If Meghan's life is so great, if she's such the little mermaid, so happy, why is she constantly attacking her sister? I mean, that's a mean, vindictive, nasty piece of work. She's a miserable psychopath, her and Harry. They are both miserable and nasty. They why would they, I don't even understand why they stay together. They just seem to make each other miserable. They're really nasty. So why? I think Meghan's jealous of Samantha because Samantha's actually happy with her life. She's doing her work. She's living a good life, and Meghan just can't stand her happiness. How dare you be happy? I'm taking you out, right? I'm famous now. I'm gonna take you out. So, how's Meghan feeling about not getting money from? Oh yeah. Oh, see, Ace of Coins reverse. She wanted that money. She didn't get it. Hangman. She has to wait. So she's gonna, she feels like she's being delayed here. That it's a delay, and that she wants it. She definitely wants it. She feels like she should have gotten that coin from Samantha. She wants it. Obviously, it's a vindictive measure because Meghan's one of the wealthiest people in the world, the royal family. She's hundreds of millions of dollars, and yet she's gonna go after a poor woman in a wheelchair with MS and try to make her pay. That's Meghan for you, right? But again, you talk about family here. It's very nasty, very emotional. It's being vindictive. But yeah, Meghan wants that money. She's waiting for it. She's like, I'm gonna get it one way or another because Meghan's got all kind. The money Meghan would spend on lawyers to try to get some money from Samantha would far outweigh any money she would get from Samantha. But Meghan's so vindictive, she would do it, right? Is Meghan gonna do it? Is Meghan gonna be trying to pursue money from Samantha? Oh yeah, 5 of cups. That's it. Yep. No, 3 of cups. Yeah, Meghan's talking to her lawyers, saying, "Do it, do it. I want that money from Samantha. Make her pay." And 6 of Pentacles. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She wants that money. She's like, "You better get that money." Oh yeah, she wants that money. She's definitely, she wants to get it from Samantha. She wants Samantha to pay just to be a witch. I mean, here's Meghan, a multimillionaire, wants to get that little bit of money from a poor woman. But Meghan's vindictive. She's like she's going to be ferocious. She's going to destroy her. So Meghan does. She's a destroyer. That's what evil does. It destroys and causes chaos, and that's what Meghan and Harry do all the time. So I hope Samantha sues Omid, because if Samantha sues Omid, that will bring Meghan back into court again. Because Omid's not going to take the fall for it. I wonder if Omid would take this fall. He's not going to take the fall for Meghan. Omid's going to be like, Meghan told me, Meghan told me. So, but I don't know. I think that that's, the whole setup that Megan has, right? Plausible deniability. Omid says, "Oh, well, I thought it was true. It was no malice on my part." And then it would go back to, Megan lying. So I don't know how that would work, but one way or another, someone's going to pay for that. Someone's going to pay, in my opinion, for that defamation. Um, so I think that's about all the questions I have on this. Yeah, I'm gonna end it up there. I'm gonna end it there. So yeah, so this is to be continued. It's not over. The whole thing it has not been dismissed entirely. There's things that Samantha can do to follow up on, and I'll bet you she will. Because if she doesn't, Megan's gonna be pursuing that money, that's for sure. So I hope Samantha finds a way to appeal that first, dismissal of the first one against finding freedom, because finding freedom is just chock full of defamation that really Omid and Megan need to pay for, in my opinion. So I hope that somehow Samantha and her lawyers find a way to do that. But anyways, even if she doesn't, it's not over yet. All Samantha has to do is prove that she changed her name back to Markle long before Meghan dated Harry, and then Samantha's going to win that one, and Samantha will win something. That's what I see happening here, because that's what Nate the lawyer is saying. This isn't done yet. It's not done yet. So there's no winners or losers yet entirely. It's a matter of time, but cross your fingers. I think, let me see, let's look. Is Samantha going to win in the end? Is Samantha going to win because all Samantha has to do is provide a piece of paper that says, see, I changed my name back to Markle in 1996, right? Is Samantha going to win in the end? Yes, no, it's difficult. Oh, yeah, look at that. Look at that. Temperance upright. Because when the judge saw Samantha in court, she was temperance reverse. She didn't have it all together. But next time Samantha goes back, she's going to be temperance upright, and she's going to have her act together with the judges, and bam, she's going to win. I see Samantha winning this in the end. That's what I see. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this. If so, please like and subscribe, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye bye.